I'm Linathi Makanda, and this is UOMT Radio, where we dissect culture with the sharpest of minds in the streets. Over the years, South Africa, influenced by a plethora of cultural and musical influences from the United States, has witnessed an upsurge of its youth gravitating towards hip-hop culture. However, it remains a rarity to find individuals who have fluidly transitioned from the Skhothane era to the South African hip-hop era. For context, Skhothane is a subculture that flourishes in various townships across South Africa. The Skhothane ethos is deeply rooted in extravagant self-expression, indulgence, and the ambition to outshine others, whether in a dance-off or in displaying a more flamboyant style. The term Skhothane is derived from a Zulu word that means to lick or to boast. In this discussion, we spotlight Tina Buyeye, a passionate aficionado of both these cultural realms. Tina, who is still very much carving out his identity, demonstrates a profound understanding of not only his surroundings in the urban cultural domain, but also the internal dialogues that steer people's decisions about their roles within this space. We explore these motivations, lighting the path for those who have embarked on their own journeys in the vibrant cultural landscape.
Music at the time, I wasn't really listening to a lot of hip hop. This is Skhothane most of the time, right? So I was listening to more like deep house, tribal music, and then like the transition of me exiting that street Skhothane culture in the city, transitioning into the urban culture, which was mostly influenced by SA hip-hop at the time. So when guys like Casper came in, I remember like when I think the first time I heard Dr. Mileza, right?
Yes.
It was one of those, you see those shows that play on SABC1? I can't remember what show it is, but it was a rooftop type thing where they bring artists to a rooftop, right? And then that day, Casper, I think, was debuting. The song was about to drop. I didn't think I had a phone at the time, so I wouldn't know whether there's bars going on. But I didn't know who he was. But this guy kept, teaching these people this song, Dog, shit. And I was also hooked, because now, by the end of that night, I had known that song. I was like, shit. And then the next thing, Dr. Mileza was the biggest song. I was like, yo, this guy is actually my guy. This guy's dope. And because I was alone at that hour, right, watching that TV show. So, man, we're scared. I like, when I go back to the homies are like, hey, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, yo, and Dr. Mileza is growing. Like, the whole Casper thing is happening at the time. And I'm also like, yo, this guy is my guy. Like, I fucks with this guy and followed him ever since. And then, as I was following him, then Ricky Rick's a part of the movement, which he is the definite reason why I don't buy Jordans till this day,
Why?
Because of the Nafuko music video.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Yeah. So when I saw those Palladium boots on that music video, I was like, yo, these boots are fire. I went and copped the boots, and I was the only one that had the boots in the city. So when I bought the boots and I was wearing it, I remember Rose Mola, your Nikes, the Skhothane shoes, right?
Yes.
Those Skhothane niggas wearing a boot, like a soldier boot. Like, why are you wearing, what's
it
up
was
with you?
It was mostly a more cavela, like.
Yeah, and then I started seeing that people are noticing that I'm different now. I've changed. I'm listening to this hip hop thing. These Casper guys. I'm wearing Palladium boots. I don't hang out with the homies anymore because I'm not into that culture anymore. I'm into like what Boys and Bucks are doing and the way they dressing. So that's how my transition happened. Ricky Rick, definitely influenced, myself in terms of being more confident, in terms of the clothing that I put on, not wanting to. Not being afraid to stand out, not being afraid to being the only one that's rocking that shit, So when I saw those guys do it, that's when I, gained confidence when I saw that, this movement and this culture is actually doing this. So I'm not alone, actually. You just niggas don't know what I'm on.
You need to catch up. So, speak a little about your transition from
being a Skhothane into now this emerging culture, right? With the Ricky Ricks and the Boys and Bugs. So obviously, you just mentioned now, you had like your own circle at the time that resonated with where you were in terms of the culture of his Skhothane. So how is your journey now in terms of finding your tribe now after you've transitioned? Now you're into the hip hop and you're into this now emerging culture. Did you find it easy or difficult to find abantu who are also, sort of moving in that direction as well?
Hip hop subconsciously has always been in the back of my head, because even before the times of Skhothane, I remember ngokubesahlala emafletini mos hill pro beshare yabo.
Yeah.
As in the share yasemafletini no. So this one guy named Rufa, he was I think that bro was like a scammer, IT scammer.
Like credit card shit.
Yeah, that nigga, they had space in most pet space, but yo, homie's driving a BMW and he's playing hip hop in the car. He's playing with my 50 Cent. He's got the 50 Cent albums, and I was like, he used to bump the stuff, and I used to also like it. When he's playing it, I'm excited. The stuff that he's playing in his space inside. So I think hip hop kind of, was getting to me in terms of the music, because I liked hip hop, but I wasn't really immersed in the culture. I wasn't following it. And then there was my friend, the five, and he was also a crazy hip hop guy. And he had all the Snoop Dogg music videos and CDs. That's actually the first time I started seeing like boobs and like ass or like tits and like explicitly like that. Like now, and it was so crazy. I was like in grade 2, 7 years old.
What?
Sometimes I would even not go to the park. Just so I can go to his spot and watch the music videos. Not only do I want to hear the hip hop, I want to see the bombs and the So that hooked me, I think I was just always a kid that has always wandered around, like always, dabbling, trying to, okay, what's going on here? And then if there's something that draws me in more, I'm in there, So I think, back to your question as to now, how do I then find my tribe? I think it was naturally something in my subconscious, because when I transitioned from what I was dressing like as Skhothane, I definitely started looking like hip hop, even though I wasn't listening to hip hop or immersed in the culture at the time, When I started dressing that way, those guys were like, that's when they started putting me on. Like, Nathan and them, Nathan, Crash, what's about this other rapper kid, the Scala. He introduced me to Joey Badass at the time. And he introduced me to Rhapsody 2015 Metric at the time. So those guys were, introducing me into the music. First time I heard trap music was Shabba Ranks. And the whole school was like, fucking with that shit. Like, I remember it was, one of those CV's days, playing music in the hall.
Yeah.
Shabba Ranks dropped. And the whole school was like going crazy. I'm like, what is this music? Then I saw the music video on TV, on Channel O, the Shabba Ranks music video. I was like, yo, these guys are cool. A$AP Rocky, you see them there on that video. They fly as hell.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, yo, this is dope, So I think I was naturally, drawn to hip hop. I think then it wasn't difficult for me to find, the community, because the hip hop community is always like, if you represent hip hop, if you speak hip hop, you're with us.
Yeah.
So it wasn't difficult for me to find a tribe and find a community, because a lot of the hip hop guys became very influential in my journey, because this whole journey for me started at Casper's fill up there. Funny enough, they used to like diss me as Skhothane actually for like being a fan of Casper, It was okay, because they, some people thought he was whack and shit. They remember the beef era. So I was like a big Casper fan, and like people were like, I wanna look Casper, I'm tired. You'll never even meet him. Blah, 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 blah. And then fast forward, life happens. I'm at actually where we were shooting at Newtown, doing interviews for the Fill Up series internship for the FNB Stadium, the concert, the 68,000, the big concert of his. We were part of the team, and I was like,
look at me now. You were like, look at me now.
I have a whole reference signed by Casper, like his name, like in my CV, you know. And at the time, I was also just doing. I wanted to be part of that internship as a fan, you know, just like wanting to be close and see like how this thing goes down. Because my first time being at a concert was Fill Up the Dome, actually, Casper's concert, and I was blown away. I couldn't believe it. I was like, there's no way this guy, we hear 20,000 people and people are saying whatever they're saying about him, but 20,000 people, that was crazy.
That's crazy. You know,
bought the first 2 tickets for the first shows, Fill Up the Dome and Fill Up Orlando Stadium. And then when the Fill Up internship thing came up for FNB, I was like, let me join this internship thing so that I can, you know, be as close. You know, it's going to expose me to the whole culture, the whole industry, and what careers are there, what skills people can learn, you know. So yeah, man.
Okay, so that was a lot, and I love it. Do you know why I love it? I kept on thinking about so many questions in between. And one of them is what you mentioned about the music videos, right? There's a clear link in sort of the landing of hip-hop in South Africa, landing from the United States, right? A lot of the artists, a lot of the culture was sort of bled into us this side, right? So you speak about the music videos and how they were at the time, the Snoop Dogg's, the 50 Cents, and so forth and so forth. But now you're getting the Nafukwas. We know Nafukwa, I think, was a very different approach. It was a very different approach to what a hip-hop video could and should be, right?
I didn't even want to play that video.
It was very conceptual, right? It was very conceptual, and I think it also gave rise to that sort of style of directing, right? We started to see a lot of the directors going in a more conceptual direction, even past the hip hop genre. So how was that for you, or did you notice that? And where are you, or what are your thoughts on that, leading from there to now? You know, you have both contrasts. You have what you've seen from the Snoop Dogs and what you've seen from American culture now versus where we are right now in terms of visuals and hip-hop visuals specifically in South Africa. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think music videos are an important aspect of getting the message across, right? Like most songs need to drop with the music video, right? So music videos are very important, and I think how it has changed, it has made it, it's now not just a medium where artists can showcase their lifestyle, you know, like how they live. Because your Snoop Dogg's and your 50 Cents, they were just like, okay, we're gonna put what's going on in our lives in the music videos. You can check all the Mobb Deeps, all the music videos back in those days. It was about their real lives, like Wu-Tang. You can see like none of the shit is scripted, none of the shit is conceptual. It's real life. So I think it has now allowed artists to create in a more open world, you know. You can drive concepts from what's going on around the world, not necessarily your own lifestyle. You know, you can use a music video to communicate a message that is affecting society at the time. You know, we still didn't understand what the Nafukwa music video meant. Like, Ricky is actually crazy, and we'll talk about his impact that he's had on me. And I think sometimes, you know, things really happen the way they should happen because all these guys that influenced me, Casper, Ricky, I ended up, you know, working with them, you know. Because when Ricky started Cotton Fest, we were the guys that were promoting for him. We used to go activations with him. You know, he came to one of the homies' birthday celebration party for free to perform, you know, because he knows like, these are my boys, they're always pushing for me, so I can't charge them when they're doing something. So it was crazy. At the time, I wasn't even like
conscious.
I wasn't even thinking about it. He always used to even diss me about my walk. Well, I think Ricky hated on my walk because he's like, yo, dog, that nigga with the bounce, you know. That nigga with the bounce, you know, I think he hated my walk. He was hating on my walk because I walk sleep, man. I know my walk is dope. But back to the music video conversation. Yeah, they are important now for artists to be more creative, other than having to stick to what is going on in their own life. They can now speak for other people. Now they can communicate, representing different cultures in a music video, you know. You don't necessarily have to represent yourself as an artist in a music video. You have a whole world that you can represent in the visual. So I think it has allowed for artists now to be more expressive, to be more creative, you know, when it comes to visuals, and now connect with people in a much more like understanding, like relatability? Yeah, like you relate now with people in a much more conscious way, other than just like liking what you do, you know. You're speaking to them. So I think videos now are now, you know, representing the culture other than artists.